Basically, when those people are active in social life and those who are organizing the protests, even they were not imagining that these kind of the huge protests and huge response will come out. Because we thought when we were protesting for the akhlaq, it was a particularly concerned person of the one's akhlaq's family. Immediate concerned person was akhlaq family. In case of Rohit, Radhika Vemula and Raja Vemula was the main concerned person, as well as same in Fatima Nafis and Mujib for the Najib in Najib's case. But when you see the choreography which have been started since 2014 after the lynching of Mohsin Sheikh, the Mohsin lynched at the same time when Prime Minister Modi was taking the oath on that time. The day was same and the timing was the same. Since a lot of lynching have been happened, then and these lynching, even in Mohsin's lynching, they left the message: we took first wicket. We take our first wicket. So the message is very clear: Muslims have lost the political battle. And in socially, a lot of things related to triple talaq, this and that, and a lot of words have been used for the Muslim social system, and Muslim women are doing this and that and this that. A lot of things were going on, but that's mean the message was very clear. Muslims have lost the space politically, lost the space socially, and they are living in the corner of the society. And the last thing is that you want to take it that the Indianness, those who are living in India, they didn't go to the Pakistan, they have not, they are living in India, and the association of Indianness have been challenged, and the equality, everything we know it very well, practically the system is biased. The society is biased, judiciary is biased, police and administration is biased. But in writing, Indian Constitution is talking about the equality, and you people have the Modi government and that CA and RC bill challenged that equality, and it is clear cut that all the 18% Muslim population, or more or less 20 crore Muslims, those who are living in India, they will be the second class citizen. So immediate concern is each and every person, and everyone, those who monitored the Assam's NRC, it is not about the document, it is not about the citizenship register. In slogan is very clear, NRC एक बहाना है, मुसलमान असल निशाना है. So they want to create a lot of anxiety in Muslim society and a panic in Muslim society. So those who are daily bread earner have to build their document. Even the landless farmers, those who are living in the rural part of India, and even people will try for that document. But even though can try and though can build their document, they have not gone for any kind of documentation, because they got the message in the serious manner from the Assam. There is no need of any document. If I'll come up with all documents, they will not ready to accept as an Indian citizen, and these all exercise is for the discrimination, and it's a whole discriminatory exercise, and they will cut and they will take the right of equality. So it is attack on the equality, the whole society which is biased and prejudiced. But this bill is saying that you are second grade citizenship, and the writing of that bill is the permanent stamped on the Indian Constitution. Muslims are second grade citizenships, and it have been challenged. First you take the political space, then you take the social space, and Muslims are living in ghettos. You went into Juapura, you will either you went to Juapura or you will go to Okhla or somewhere else in a Muslim population. You will find out Muslims are living as a second grade citizens. But in theory, according to the constitutions, Muslims are equal citizenship, and so they think, people are thinking like that there is some chances government will come down and maybe some system will change. But this bill, it's like that, it's a stamp on the Indian Constitution, and that is saying that Muslims are the second grade citizenship, and that's why we people come on the street, and all people are the concern related to that bill. As I earlier said, in Najib's case, Fatima Nafis was the main concern, but 20 crore Muslims were the main concern related to this bill. That's why 23 people according to the record of the UP government have been killed in the 20th of December, and apart from that in Sambhal, Rampur, Kanpur, Allahabad, Banaras, 24/7 protests have been organized, and still many, even I attended a public meeting in Kanpur where 4 people have been killed by police bullet, and after that they have organized around 50,000 people's rally. So that's kind of the response, because people thought that it's an immediate concern for us. It is not particularly for Nadeem, not for any Shaheen, not for any Shakil, it is for their own.
So you talked about UP violence. The amount of crackdown that happened on Muslims, and there's a lot of comparison happening between farmers' protests and CA movement, and people are like trying to tutor Muslims that the way CA protest was happening was unorganized and it didn't hit the target. Do you think, but still nobody was killed in farmers' protests, even though the farmers itself have turned, have been aggressive? There was no firing at the farmers' protests. When you turn around and look at CA movement, on the first day, on the first phase of protest itself, there was a lot of violence. 23 people were killed at least on record, 23 people have been killed in UP. Minors were picked up, minors were put in jail for more than 3-4 months. So how do you see that, Muslims protesting? How vulnerable is Muslim?
Look, if anyone is comparing the farmer protest with the CA protest, then CA protest is beyond any comparison. If anyone is comparing it, then I think he don't have any idea about the social stigma and social status of the Muslims in India. Jat and Sardar is one of the most powerful community in India. They have one of the most organized structure. They have a particular government in Punjab that is supporting the farmers protest. But in case of the Muslims, that is one of the most vulnerable community in India. If a strong person is resisting, so that resistance is acceptable, appreciable. But is a vulnerable is resisting, then we should give a high regard to them, because Muslim is one of the most vulnerable community. And if you compare it to the police brutality in farmers protest, and as well if you compare as well as with the CA protesters, so no one has fired a single bullet. In case of Delhi, the protest have been started on the 7th of December from Jantar Mantar, then 10th of December in burn the bill copy in Jantar Mantar again, then India Gate, and after that what happened in 13th of December in Jamia, what happened in 15th of December in Aligarh and Jamia again, then 19th December in Delhi, 150 people have been detained, 27 people have been arrested. At the same time, in same date, 19 December 2019, 2 people have been killed in Mangalore, and both of them received the bullet shot in their chest. That's mean police was not in a mood to disperse the protesters. They are in a mood to killing. It's a clear-cut intention. They fired the bullet with the intention of to kill the Muslim protesters. As well as in 20th of December, 23 Muslims have been killed by police firing, and all of the 23 either they received the bullet shot in their chest or in their heads. So that's mean it's very clear. At the same time, if you compare it with the farmer protesters, police was helpless. It shows, and police never became helpless. We know it very well. So that's mean the political masters know that if they will do such kind of the force against the former protester, then the reaction will be different. But Muslims are vulnerable. So 23 people have been killed in Uttar Pradesh alone, and not a single FIR have been registered so far. If you will go to the Kanpur, 5 people have been killed in a particular place called Babu Purwa in Kanpur. 5 youngsters have lost their life. In Meerut, 4 people have lost their life. 3 people have lost their life in Firozabad. 2 people have lost their life in Sambhal. 2 people have lost their life in Rampur. 1 people have lost their life in Muzaffarnagar. But none of the single FIR against any policeman, and all of the people, those who have been killed by the police bullets, received the police bullet either in their heads or in their chest. The intention was very clear. If anyone is comparing Muslim community with the Sikh community, which is one of the most organized and the Sikh diaspora is one of the most organized and one of the most active diaspora according to the community. There, in case of CA, you compare the statement. British government is debating on the farmers issue. Canadian Prime Minister come up with a statement, but no one is speaking till now. The 1 year have been completed and no one have been arrested so far. Even not a single FIR have been registered. More of the 600 people still are living in the jail in the name of Delhi Riot. 20 people are facing UAPA. If you go to the Uttar Pradesh, around 100 people have been arrested under the NSA, National Security Act, and same have been happened in Madhya Pradesh also. And the most remarkable thing is that around 350, I am calculating and giving this number with very concerned thing is that it's a just limited number, but people are saying, I have not visited, around 160 to 180 protest sites were there only in Bihar. So according to, if we calculate Bihar plus, then it will be 400, but I am just taking the conscious number. It is 300 protest sites were there in 24/7 in across the nation. Violence have been happen only in Delhi, Karnataka, UP and Assam. Why not MP on that time? Why not in Rajasthan? Why not in Kerala? Why only in BJP ruled state? So that's mean the thing is very clear. The violence started, and it was not a violence. It was force have been used against the protesters. Those were the peaceful protesters, and all of them have received the bullet shot from the police itself. If it was a violence from the protester side, then it should be happen in non-BJP ruled state also. Why people killed only in Assam? Why people killed only in Karnataka? Why people only killed in Uttar Pradesh? And why all the story have been hashed around in Delhi? Because in Delhi, BJP is controlling the Delhi police. And the second thing is that the all farmer movement is a North Indian movement. They are putting a lot of the energy and all to make it the whole nation in movement. But in case of CA movement, whole Punjab was protesting against the CA from Punjab, because we are not talking about the Kashmir, because the situation is entirely different in Kashmir. Even the 370 is there, so there is no one talking about their citizenship and ideas and all in Kashmir. But after the Kashmir, people were protesting on that time from Pathankot till Kanyakumari. So that the size of the CA protest was very big in comparison to farmers protest. Farmer protest is basically either it is in Punjab, surrounded by Delhi, Western UP, Punjab and Haryana, and some part of Rajasthan. But if you compare it with the CA protest was a nationwide protest. No one is protesting in Assam for the farmers. Some programs are going on. No one is protesting in Kerala for the farmer protest, but some programs are going on. But in case of the CA, all people, approximately 324/7 protests were going, apart from that 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 10 lakhs gathering, either it is in Hyderabad, Bangalore or in Bhopal.
So coming to Delhi program, after 1 year, there have been a lot of investigation by some of the media organizations, which all tried to put the blame on fringe groups like the priest and people like Kapil Misra. But do you think there is a void? There's a gap between to understand the role of police in the Delhi program? Because we have seen visuals of police being complicit with police also attacking Muslims. We have seen police taking actions like arbitrary actions afterwards and arresting activists who are involved in rehabilitation and relief works for the victims over there. How do you think the police is complicit in the Delhi program?
Basically, if you talk about the Delhi program or Delhi, we can't say that it's a communal violence. It's communal violence. In case of the communal violence, two community fought each other. In this case, first of all, what is the role of Kapil Mishra? And the second thing is, Kapil Mishra is a sponge. He is not a main hero. Hero is Mr. Amit Shah. CA protester is protesting against whom? CA protester is protesting against the government. The first party is protester, second party is government, or you can say that the first party is government and the second party is protesters. Who is the Kapil Mishra? If suppose that I accept that thing, the Mr. Amit Shah is our home minister and Mr. Modi is our prime minister, that Indian government is my government, so in a democratic system I have a right to protest, and I am protesting according to the right against the government on the CA bill. What is the role of Mr. Kapil Mishra? How can the third party come in that scene? And even the Kapil Mishra is delivering the speech on behalf of police, and police was DCP of police was listening him and obeying him. And the third thing is that if some people is saying that Delhi police participated in a riot, I am not agree with that point. Delhi police were the rioters. A lot of video have been surfaced, a lot of images came. Delhi police, no one can forget that it was shameful for the country. Delhi police is beating those people with the breaking bones and asking them to sing national anthem. And if that is the role of Delhi police, so should be one investigation is going against the role of the Delhi police. How can Delhi police investigate the role of other people in Delhi violence? Investigation should launch against Delhi police. What is the role of Delhi police? Delhi police were writing on that time, and evidences are there, and the same Delhi police is investigating it. And what kind of the investigation is there? Those people didn't visit that particular place. Those people not in town on that day. The Delhi police charge sheet is saying we had asked Kapil Mishra, we had called Kapil Mishra. Kapil Mishra came and we asked him, had you delivered any speech at there in that particular metro station, Jafrabad? He said no. Jafrabad metro station, where he was delivering the speech and some DCP was listening that speech. So police charge sheet is saying that we had asked Kapil Mishra, had you delivered any speech? Kapil Mishra refused. So we said okay, you can go. That and the same charge sheet is saying, though people not in Delhi on that time, he said they people, if you will read the judgment of Khalid Saifi in Khureji Khas, they are saying he was writing at that time and trying to kill policemen. Even Khalid Saifi was not on that time even, and if you will read the bail order of that Khalid Saifi on that 101 case, it said very clear cut, is saying police tried to implicate him falsely on that case. So our concern is very clear. There should be one investigation should launch by some retired judge or working judge against Delhi police. What is the role of Delhi police in that right? Delhi police were writing at that time. It's not a participating. They had the whole conspiracy, and in the name of right investigation, you called around 400 people, 300 people, those who have been involved in the protest, and you are saying the protest for the they organize the protest for the right. So people sat in the road around 100 days and they wait for that and they organize the right. So what is the meaningless investigation is going on? But the problem is that Mr. Amit Shah have a lot of experience on organizing the right and using the police in Gujarat, like a big story from Tulsi Prajapati to till Ishrat Jahan. The same pattern working, the same pattern of Gujarat police the people are using with the Delhi police.
In Gujarat, at least there was some whistleblowers. At least Haryan Bhatia came out. He deposited after Sanjeev Bhatt came out. But in Delhi, it's there has not been any kind of a dent in the system.
The problem is that was in 2002. The people just came in one state, and it was the just starting of that idea, that things. So that's why we had seen it. Babu Bajrangi went to jail. Maya Kodani went to jail. Most of the people went to, even Amit Shah went to jail. But in case of Delhi, that whole development of the society is that the achievement of that 18 years is that now no one went to jail, forget about the jail. not a single FIR launched against these, neither with the Kapil Mishra, nor with Anurag Thakur, and not this Parvesh Verma. So that is the achievement of our democracy in last 18 years.
The CAA movement, you have visited and you have worked with Assam, so you will have a better understanding of what will happen if CAA and NRC comes into action in the state. Like, can you explain how
Look, the thing is that in Assam, everyone can agree that the idea of NRC, when the NRC have been announced, all section of the society welcomed it. Why? Because in 1950, the first NRC have been happened in 1950 in Assam. The first NRC have been happened in 1950 in Assam. The reason was very clear. On that time, there was no Meghalaya, no Manipur. So Assam was a border state with the East Pakistan, and Assam was a border state with the China and Burma. So initially in 1950 they organized the first NRC in Kamrup district and Guwahati. Kamrup was the outskirt of the Guwahati, and after that they finished it. And then a lot of propaganda started, the infiltration going on, but the data is saying a different thing. So the thing is like that, if you see the propaganda of right wing, even from the government side of the Assam, in 1997 General Saxena was a governor of Assam, and he written a report to the president. So 4,500 Bangladeshis are coming in every day from Bangladesh. So if you calculate that 4,500 numbers, so 97 to till 2019 whole Bengal will be vanished, Bangladesh. All people will come from that side according to that number. And you have the BSF, you have the CRPF at there. BSF was camping on the border, and all border is not porous border. It is not like that European border is a porous border. It's a border under the security forces. So even you calculate the 1891, 1911 census, then 1951 the census. In 1951 census, Muslims was 27% in Assam, and that census is saying that 33%, the last census. And if you will compare the growth rate of the Muslims as well, because in all the nation we are comparing growth rate of the Muslim with the ST groups and the SC groups. So SC and ST's growth rate is more than the Muslims in Assam alone. And if you will check it out, the national data, ST's growth rate in Karnataka or ST's growth rate in Rajasthan, then you will find ST's growth rate or far more in comparison to these two states where the ST's are growth rates are very high. My mean is that if you will check it out the census data, then you will find it growth is very normal. It is equal to Dalits and is equal to SC and ST. So, but a lot of misconception have been created, a lot of hue and cry. So when the NRC have been announced on 2010, everyone welcomed it because it was on the Assam Accord, identify the people and this that. In 2010 they did what? In Barpeta district there was a two small townships of the Muslim. So NRC sees people, the government employees though went for the data and all, they said we are not going to enter in this area because these are the Bangladeshis. That's everything is on a record. And AMSU students protested on that day, police firing again, and 4 people according to the government data lost their life, and the local resources are saying 12 people have lost their life and many people have received the bullet injury. And on 2010 again NRC have been closed. In 2014 when the NRC have been announced, Muslims come out and welcomed it strongly, and they said at least the issue should close down. Everyone is saying you are Bahari, you are Bangladeshi, and there is a lot of historical background of that, from migration of Muslims from Assam to Bangladesh. Even the 2 districts, Silchar and another Kamrup, that earlier that districts belonged to the Bangladesh. Then it given at the time of the formation of New Bengal, when they divided Bengal into 3 parts, they joined these two districts with the Assam. So there is a lot of historical context also there. So they welcomed it at least, and everything will be clear it now. When 2016, the local BJP government when joined the when came on the power and the power center have been changed, so people are complaining about that the biasness and discriminations in whole exercise. So still, and if you find out the NRC's process and an NRC's list, even I visited NRC office on that time. They had organized a press conference against me. NRC as an institution, he said he entered in my office without any permission, blah blah. So I had asked from Mr. Kalita, he was in charge of NRC, and next to Mr. Pratik Hajela, the coordinator of NRC. I said, yeah, 80 to 85% people the Assam can't read English. You people are issuing the notice in English. And the second thing is that you people are issuing the notice in internet. How can anyone get that notice? He said, we will do this, that. A lot of the questions are there when you will check it out, the NRC's whole procedure. The procedure is very big. And these kind of the government exercise have a lot of problems and a lot of technical problems here there, but still that when the NRC result came, every section says that it's all right, you give the time. The people ask the time for 3 years. He given the time of 1 year. So though people don't have a money, they can't go for the appeal. Ultimately, burden of proof is with whom? Our main concern is that when you come up with the first list of 40 lakh people, then the burden of the proof of the identification should, proof of the government should take that responsibility, and government should do that. He is outsider, but you are considering him outsider because you have to mention in the first list he is not Indian citizen, and burden of proof is on the normal citizen. And how can you expect that the person who is not earning more than 5,000 rupees, he will hire a advocate and he will come up with a document and all and all. Again, now the same question is with the 16 lakh people. How can any person who's living under the below poverty line will prove that he is a Indian citizen, because he have to prove it that in foreign tribunal. And again the same foreign tribunal, the member of the foreign tribunal who decide the nationality of any person, that is an important question. So the eligibility of that member is only 7 years the registration of LLB, after the LLB. Any person who have the only 7-year experience after the registration can decide anyone's nationality. And the second thing is that when we went to Assam, we found out that 3 members of that foreign tribunal, when they have not
it's a performance.
Yeah, it's a based on performance. They have not been renew their contract. Then they went to the court and they said, why you people have not renewed my contract? They said your performance was not good. Mr. Saha, he had 300 cases and declared 200 people as a foreigner, very good performance. But Mr. Verma, he had 200 cases and only 30 people as a foreigner, so performance is not good. So in judiciary, you are calculating the performance according to the conviction. So what is the role of evidence and what is the role of papers? So the whole exercise based on the false propaganda machinery, and the people are prejudiced. What is the mean of that? Anyone can write a letter to border police and he will be de-voter, doubtful citizenship, and here again the burden of proof is with the individual. If I'll write a letter, Mr. Amit Shah is not Indian, or I'm forgetting that the Gujarat Chief Minister born in Rangoon, or the Tripura Chief Minister born and brought up in Bangladesh. So if I write a letter to the border police about him, he is not Indian, will you seize his voting right and tell him he is a de-voter, doubtful citizen? So what kind of the rubbish system is that? That is based on a prejudice mindset. So if you talk about my experience, until the railway reservation come on the online, my name is Wasik Nadeem Khan. 99% at the time of when the reservation clerk was entering the name, 99% times I had not received my ticket with my own name. Sometimes spelling mistake, sometimes name mistake. The same system you are saying that will enter the data on their notepad about in NRC or NPR about my name, my parents' name, my father's name. If you will go to the Uttar Pradesh where the people are having the Muslims name, Arabic name, so either if there is a 3 person in the family, 3 brothers in the family, if you will find check it out the identification paper, most 3 of them will not get the same father's name in their document. Sometimes if some name is father's name Mohsin, so Moin, Mohsin, Mubin, whatever they want they write in the same people will decide my citizenship with the basis of the paper. So the whole exercise is only to harass Muslims and try to discriminate them. And what is the meaning of that when you people are saying that we will give the citizenship to the other countries' people? So no one was creating the question on them. You please welcome them. And why not the Shias, those who are living in Pakistan? Shias is also persecuted community. Why you people are not mentioning them? Why people are not mentioning them? The Nepalis, in case of Nepal, Muslims are in minority. So there is a lot of the questions, but everything is very clear. You want to show some Muslims living in the detention center like they are living in Assam. That is the achievement of our Modi government. And as far as we people will not ready to accept that exercise, either we have the document or not to document whenever you will come for the NPR or NRC, because we knew it very clear after the Assam's experience you will not go for the NRC. Why? Assam was very small state, only 3.23 crore population. In 3 crore population, government spent around 1,600 crore rupees. So in case of the UP, there is a population of 28 crore. So it is beyond the imagination of the money and time, because they took around 5 years, so it will take 15 years. So that's why you make the procedures in very simple manner in the name of NPR. So that's why we are opposing it, and we will not ready to accept any kind of the NPR. We will boycott it, we will not support it, we will not talk them. And if they think कि after the Delhi violence, after the Delhi program, and after the arrest of our friends, those who are living in jail since 1 year, they thought people will accept that draconian setup. So I don't think, even if I'm not ready to accept it, so people will thought in the same line.
The Delhi program, and your friends have been in several cases. Why do you think these people were targeted? Can you find a pattern between these people? Was it trying to demoralize the protesters?
Actually, in Delhi, most of the people, those who have been arrested, were active from last 5 years. So politically, there is no opposition. If you check it out, after the Delhi violence, none of the senior leader visited area where Muslims have been butchered. Either it is Shiv Vihar or Eidgah camp. Even Rahul Gandhi, those who are living in Delhi, even Priyanka Gandhi, not visited, not any party's leader. But these civil society people, we have a differences or not, but sometimes they make some hue and cry noise and all. So sometimes Washington Post write down something about them, sometimes New York Times, sometimes international media covered it. So it's a pinching. They know it very well. They will not come up with, they will not effect for their electoral system. Electorally, they are very sound. But for the sake of their image, they are pinching them, the whole civil society. That's why they targeted the names, those who were involved in the protest, involved in the, like Khalid Safi had organized around, I think, more than 100 protests in last 2 years. He was a Muslim face of the protest, come up with his identity with a beard and all. So though people have been arrested, they want to send a message to the whole civil society. If you will raise the voice against them, we will put you on behind the bar. But I'm not agree कि whatever they are thinking, it will possible. People will come again on the street. Like if they will come up with these kind of the draconian law like CA and NPR, we will come again on the street. Or and the second thing is that कि movements will not need any leaders. Movements come up with the leaders, come up with the fresh leaders. So I hope next phase of the movement will come after the COVID vaccination and all whatever, and they will produce more leaders. So how many people will they arrest? And if they arrest, then we are ready for that.
Digging into one last question is that how long do you think Muslims have to fight to at least overturn or at least have a dignified life in India?
Look, sometimes we think like that we should give thanks to this regime also for awakening us, because Congress was doing same thing in a very systematic approach, very smoothly and in sophisticated manner, and they people are doing it with the raw. So at least it is a time of community awakening. If the community will awake, then inshallah all will be there. And if you see our 1400 history, we have seen the Mongols and all, and Pasba mil gaya Kaaba ko sanam khane se Iqbal, as Iqbal said, ki hope in we will raise as a community and the people awaken. Now at the time of the CA, we have seen one thing, all the differences has been vanished, and even we people are documenting the hate crimes also. So there's a pattern come out in the whole 100 days at the time of protest, when the protest was on a peak. Not a single violence of hate crime have been reported. Check it out that not a single lynching have been happened, because moral of the Muslim community was very high, and people thought that if we will do something with them, then they will come on the street again. So it's we are very much hopeful. I am very much hopeful. The CA movement have given us a new height, new confidence, and inshallah it will be continue. And we will. It's not only about the CA. Now it is a fight for the equal citizenship. We will live with the same kind of self-esteem and same setup, and we will expect the same kind of the treatment from police and judiciary also.